What's up guys, Bill here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite technical patterns to trade, and a pattern that doesn't get a ton of shine on FinTwit. That is the H pattern. The H pattern is a bearish setup that looks like a lowercase h, and it's sort of like a combination of the hump and dump, which if you guys have followed my channel, you've probably seen the hump and dump video. It's kind of like a combination of that and a traditional bear flag. So basically what we're looking for is this pattern is going to start with a big move down. I'm here on Apple from Friday, and we're on the 10-minute chart, and Apple dumped right off the open, 2 straight candles. And here it has formed the leg of the H. So what happens from like a, trader psychology standpoint is people see these big moves down and they think, okay, well, let's buy here because it's a good risk reward to try to, we're at support. This red line is a daily level I marked. So it comes right down to this daily level and it finds some support, and buyers step in here. But what happens is the overall sentiment on this stock is still extremely bullish. So their efforts, as valiant as they may have been, are going to end up failing. And buyers are sort of going to start to realize like, I guess like we're kind of in the minority here. Let's get out of this before we get smoked for a bigger loss, right? So people also start taking profits on the way up. They feel happy with the fact that, you got this nice little move kind of halfway back up the leg of the H. And the buyers, they tire out, they leave, and sellers take control again. So how do you trade this setup? Like, when do you get in? What's your risk? What's your target? All right, lots of good questions here. So what I like to do is, in an ideal situation, once this stock starts to rebound and starts to kind of turn over, you're going to want to look to see if there's some type of resistance here you can trust above. Now, that could be a fib. It could be an hourly level, daily level, psych. It could be previous day's high, opening range level, things like this. All right, so on Apple here we have the 140 psych. There's this 786 fib here that's maybe helping out a little, but you're going to want to have some nice level of resistance you can trust to keep this curve on this H going down. Okay, one other thing I really like to do is I will draw a fib on the leg of the H. Because if you think about it, for this to be a lowercase h, it's not going to retrace more than roughly 50 to 60% of the leg. If you start retracing more than that, it becomes like a lowercase n. And to me, invalidates the idea of the setup. So you can draw this fib and keep an eye close on the 50 and the 60. I would make the 618 my exit, like for failed trade. If we get a close over here, I'm out, okay? But look at that good risk reward. So you can enter up here in the 50 and just kind of like a typical fib retracement, except with the added conviction of this H pattern that, when back tested is very successful. So you're entering up here when you see weakness. These nice wicks up are giving you a hint that the buyers are losing control. You've got your resistance from the 140 psych. You've got your fib here to give you your risk reward of where you would cut and what to keep an eye on. And it starts to fall over, okay? And it forms the H. And by entering up here, you're already up big on this trade. Some people will only play an H as a breakdown where they're entering on confirmation of a new low in correlation with the leg of the H. In this market, I would not advise that. Breakouts and breakdowns have not been as reliable as they were a few years ago. It's much more beneficial and better risk reward to play retracements, and the H pattern is naturally a retracement. So that's why I like to add the fib in, just to kind of visualize it better. But that's your H, guys, all right? So We're entering in up here when we see some weakness. We're riding it down, and we're up big already. And then if the H validates and continues, then you get another move. And now you're just coasting. You can set a trailing stop and ride it down. And we got a really nice move on that. So that's the H pattern. It's one of my favorites. I don't see it talked about a lot, but I find it to be a very reliable setup. If you guys have any questions about it, you know what to do. Leave a comment, hit my DMs on Twitter or in the Discords, and I'll help you out. Thanks, guys.